Another objective that we chose from the 10 objectives of the Synod 2023 is recognizing our spiritual gifts and using them. So here's how it reads in summary. Recognizing and appreciating the wealth and the variety of the gifts and charisms that the Spirit liberally bestows for the good of the community and the benefit of the entire human family. I think at bottom here, or rock bottom, I guess, or fundamentally, we're talking about gift recognition and calling forth gifts. There are a number of inventories, gift inventories. I know Sherry Waddell's outfit there, Form Intentional Disciples. I can't remember her organization. So if you remember her organization, go ahead and put the name in the chat box. Another awesome benefit of live stream. So we can help each other when we don't keep the memory of God so well. We have little memory lapses. But at any rate, they have a wonderful gift inventory that we've used before in my diocese. And it's a way to help the baptized faithful think about how God has blessed them and gifted them and what those gifts might be and how they might best be used within the church. Now, there's no one size fits all when it comes to gifts, nor is there one size fits all when it comes to ministries. We also know that there are very kind of official ministries. And in fact, we should all be excited as the ministry of catechist has just been institutionalized by Francis as of last spring. So it is an official institution now in the church, which we talked about in an earlier broadcast, different video about what that means. And it does mean that catechists and catechetical leaders should be expecting more support and resources from their Episcopal conferences and from their dioceses. It also means that we have to recognize the gifts that lay folks have, as well as clergy, because they're catechists as well, but as that lay folks have to share the good news. So we're talking about how these objectives might impact catechesis. So I want us to think about accompaniment, because accompaniment is how we evangelize today. It's not my word, it's Pope Francis' word. And actually it precedes him, but that's a long story for another catechist stream show. But he brought that word to the United States from South America in 2013 in The Joy of the Gospel. And he has a number of paragraphs on it. But in there, if you read closely, you find that accompaniment is not some other thing that we need to do. It is how we evangelize. It's the character of evangelization. So how do we accompany is the big question, right? And Francis says everybody in the church needs to do that, especially catechists. So one of the things I want you to think about in light of this objective about recognizing our gifts and using them is how can we use the gifts we have to accompany others. Now, if we very quickly, broadly define accompaniment as those things we do to build relationships with others based on respect, trust, and love. Now, there could be any number of things, actions that we take or how we carry ourselves, dispositions or attitudes that we cultivate to grow those kinds of relationships. So don't limit yourself when you think about what things I could do or actions I could take or words I could say or how I could behave around people that might lend itself to a companionship or a relationship built on trust, respect, and love. But I'll submit to you a few things that we can consider together. And in light of the Synod, number one is listening. How can we listen better? How can we practice that art of listening right now as DREs and catechists, especially to people that we struggle to listen to, people that we might have differing opinions with, maybe even someone that's harmed us in some way in the past, and our ears are just absolutely closed to them. Sometimes the Lord challenges us even in those moments to try to bend a little bit and open those ears a little bit to try to reestablish a dialogue of some kind. Of course, reconciliation is really important in those kinds of situations. But those aside, people you might not get along with, people that, maybe you've brought some ideas forth for the parish and someone said, that's not going to work here. Or we've tried that 20 years ago, and they presume because of that, it won't work now. Or they don't know what kind of gifts you bring to the table, gifts that might make your ideas really work. So one thing I want us to consider is how well are we listening? And I want to back up to that first objective. How well are we listening to the Holy Spirit right now in our lives? and that includes following the readings each day, and especially the Sunday readings. How are we able to make connections with those readings? How well are we just listening to God as he guides us in our day-to-day life? Are we open to hearing the Lord? Or are we very much, our life is scheduled? If you were to pull up your Outlook calendar, it's just full up and there's really no space for God. And sometimes we do operate that way. And then when we do, it's usually at a deficit. So how are we listening to God? How are we listening to the church? That means at Mass when we're there. It means to our pastor, to church leadership. But it also means to the other people in the pew, and also especially to those who are not in the pew. Are we trying to reach out to those who have since left the church? Maybe we know them. They're in our sphere of influence. Maybe they're in our social media network. Could we consider dropping a line to see how they're doing and to listen to their story to find out why they're no longer coming to the parish? Are we listening? Another action to consider is how well are we inviting people? How welcoming are we? Those two things, inviting someone and then welcoming them when they arrive. I told the story with the DREs in Colombia, how not to welcome people. And basically at an older parish I no longer minister at, they did everything by committee, and that included welcoming. And I remember one day our family showed up for Mass, and there were two gentlemen at the door with name tags and welcoming us to Mass. And one says, "Welcome to Our Lady's Immaculate Heart. So good to see you." And the other person says, who has a name tag, "What are you doing? It's my turn to welcome. You're not supposed to be here. I'm here at the 10:30 Mass at this door. You need to go back and read the schedule." And Stacy and I kind of looked at each other and go, "Oh my gosh, this is not how you welcome." Anyway, I want you to think about at least those three actions. There are a host of other actions to consider that Francis talks about quite a bit when it comes to accompaniment. But I want you to just think in your own life, what are the things that you can do? What gifts do you have that you can put towards accompanying others?